always want to say Shabbat Shalom when I come up here. Kind of cracks me up, but hey. So friends, in the span of 3 years, you voted to close the sanctuary, create this transitional worship space, and envision how our campus could grow to fit the ever-changing needs of our congregants. Today, we are taking our next steps toward building new worship, community, and play spaces. Working with the building committee over the last year has been an absolute joy. When Ezra Kenigsberg, Jill May, Keith Simon, and Wendy Todd agreed to join the building committee, they knew they were signing up for a long-term project. Thank you, and I'd appreciate it if each of you, when you have a moment, would thank the building committee, building and design committee members, because God, what an incredible rock star team. Please take a moment to thank them truly. And I'd also like to thank Jake Cohen, who staffs us and works with us and gives us the support that we need to be able to do our job. Thanks, Jake. Much appreciated. So last year when I was up here, this is my 4th year to talk to y'all about these buildings. Last year I told you that the building committee's goal was to hire an architect for our project. This year, by the way, we hired Lake Flato representatives who were over there. This year, our goal, the building committee's goal, is to work with the extraordinary team from Lake Flato to design the worship, community, and play spaces that we, our children, and our grandchildren will use over the coming decades. I'd like to take just a few moments to tell you how the building committee approaches the design of our new spaces. We center our decisions around the priorities and wishes of the congregation. I'm going to say that one more time. We center our decisions around the priorities and wishes of the congregation to create worship, community, and play spaces that are secure, filled with light, surrounded by greenery, accessible, encourage spiritual and emotional connections within the community, and we are working to build with the knowledge that we are situated in a floodplain. Everybody, we know, and we're working on it. We will continue to work with Lake Flato to design our worship, community, and play spaces for the congregation, oversee the day-to-day aspects of the project, keep the project moving forward at a reasonable pace, regularly check in on the project's connection to the congregation's desires, and select the consultants working with Lake Flato who will aid in the design process. Let me just say, we suggest the board votes. So if you never like something, if there's something you're upset about, talk to the board. Take it up with the board. We will also ensure that Rabbi Lycan is an active participant in all aspects of the design and building of our new spaces, which is a priority of the congregation. This is something that you asked for, and of course, we wanted. More than anything else, we pledge to be open and honest about the design process, and will answer all questions related to the design and building of our new worship, community, and play spaces. Please note, worship, community, and play. That's what makes us together a congregation filled with love, right? It's worship, community, and play. Play is for the little ones and, hanging out, chatting ourselves. To that end, you're going to get a card before you leave, and I want you to write down your questions, or there is also an online link, I believe, to ask us questions. Because we could stand here today, I could stand here, Lake Flato could stand here, and try and answer every single question on the face of the earth, but the truth of the matter is there's a lot of other things that have to happen, and Jennifer Fiella, Queen of the Universe, is coming up soon too. So write your questions on the cards. We will collate the cards. The building committee will work on answering all of your questions, and then Jake and I will post an FAQ page to answer all your questions. If you want to take me to coffee, or I could take you, if you want to get together and talk about something because you have a question, let me know, and we will set that up. I will be in town the entire summer. So I want you to take a deep breath and get ready. I'm going to start crying. I want you to get ready to fall in love, because what you're going to see and what you're going to hear is going to open your heart up in ways you never thought possible. So please welcome Lake Flato.
Also, if you want to use the QR code at the back of the room and on the whiteboard, you can put your questions and comments in an online form if you don't want to use the note cards.
Wow, thank you, Laura, for that very kind introduction, and thank you to the Building and Design Committee for leading this charge. We're really excited to be here. I'll start by introducing the team members. We have David Lake, founding partner of Lake Flato, is serving as partner in charge. Chris Kreitcher is also a partner at Lake Flato, serving as design advisor. I'm Nisa Shirazi. I'm an associate at Lake Flato. I will be serving as project manager and your main point of contact.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jenna Steinbeck. I'm a senior associate at Lake Flato, and I'll be serving as your project architect as well as your interior architect.
Hi, good morning. I'm JP Casillas. I'm managing principal at Campbell Landscape Architecture, and really excited to be part of this exciting milestone.
So Lake Flato is an architecture firm based in Austin and San Antonio, and we are a collective of designers working across multiple disciplines that include architecture, interior design, and urban design and planning. And at Lake Flato, we believe that architecture and landscape must work in concert with each other to create a successful project, which is why JP and Campbell are here with us today to be with us at the beginning of this process.
So Campbell Landscape Architecture is a landscape architecture firm based in Austin. We do a lot of wide variety of project sizes and types, and in collaboration with our long-term partners here at Lake Flato, we are very excited to be part of this team. You know, when we first came out into a site, Laura took us around, and in her beautiful way, she pointed at the light fixture that's made of the reclaimed stained glass, and she said, they will not quiet us down. And after that, you just can't help to want to be part of that. So we are excited to be part of this and be part of a milestone that's going to celebrate your spirit and your values.
So at Lake Flato, we have 4 core values that we aim to weave throughout our projects and our process. And that includes craft, placemaking, community, and performance and sustainability. We care deeply about those who inhabit the spaces we create and strive to create regenerative environments that nurture both the planet and human health. And for decades, Lake Flato has been a part of creating projects that inspire the spirit of Austin. You're probably familiar with some of them, including the Austin Central Library and Music Lane on South Congress.
In reviewing Congregation Beth Israel's mission statement, we were really inspired by your 3 core pillars. In thinking about the uniqueness of each individual in God's image, we started to think about sacred spaces. And we wanted to share some work that our team has completed. This is a Gudas Akim synagogue, which probably a lot of you are familiar with. On the left, even looking at a residential project, we were thinking about how daylight can really carve into a space and shape the architecture. And on the right are images of Park Avenue Synagogue, a project that I had the opportunity to be a part of in New York, where we reclaimed historic stained glass and gave it a new life. And we really brought daylight into the new worship space.
And so then thinking about the community commons in your new space, we are thinking about this as really the living room for CBI. And so these images that you're seeing here are showcasing kind of the look and feel and how these spaces could function. These are spaces that really foster a sense of community and connection, and you could think of it similarly as the living room at Shalom Austin campus. We believe that these spaces should be flooded with natural light and views to daylight and physical connections to nature. And it will have various seating types to allow for gatherings, large and small, informal, formal, with people that you know or may not know. And then for the admin wing of the project, this is a space where the staff and the clergy will work together in the same space. This should be a approachable and inclusive space that has physical and visual connections to the sanctuary and the commons. Again, have an abundance of natural light and views out to nature, which really bolsters productivity for the people working within the space. And what you're seeing throughout all of these images is the use of natural and local materials that are built to last, which is what we strive to incorporate into many of our projects.
Courtyards. When we first came onto the site, our first reaction was, wow, this is beautiful. And Laura was like, well, thank you. I mean, the site is just enveloped by this beautiful green necklace of trees and native shrubs, and we really want to bring that into the courtyards. We really want to celebrate a place that's an oasis, a place that is secure, but gives you an option to be in a secure place that is a place of respite, and that celebrates the local ecology and it has a sense of place.
Touching on project delivery in our process, thanks. We will kick off the design phases with an integrated design workshop. That's where we bring together a diverse range of key stakeholders, not just the architecture and design construction team, not just the building committee, also the clergy, also congregation members, people that are really going to be utilizing this space. As part of this workshop, we'll establish goals for the project and a shared vision moving forward. We will do a climate analysis that's specific to your site. We'll do daylighting studies. The image on the middle right is the daylighting study of Austin Central Library, which is actually, upon completion, the most daylit library in the country. We'll do a water balance study, especially for a site that already has so much water present. So, like Jenna mentioned, sustainability is built into our practice. Lake Flato has won 16 top 10 project awards through the AIA Committee on the Environment, which is more than any other architecture firm in the country. Sustainability is one of our core values, and we really think it's in alignment with the core values of CBI. Talking about project schedule, like I mentioned, we'd kick off with an integrated design workshop. The design phase would last 10 months. We estimate 12 months for a site permitting process, and then construction is estimated to be 16 months.
All right, so now we're going to begin to take a look at some initial design impressions. And this is thinking about what the space could look like and what were the main drivers behind our initial thinking for the design. So starting out with our first design opportunity, we've heard that the current sanctuary is, sitting within the floodplain. There are lots of issues around this. And so we want to know how can, we use the new design in the site plan to address these floodplain issues. And we are proposing to elevate the new sanctuary above the level of the floodplain. And, so it's not creating a dam, and then creating these elevated walks and bridge connectors that allow for the water to flow seamlessly underneath these bridge connectors, and so that the building and the landscape and the water are all working in concert with each other, really creating a beautiful water story for the site.
So this is a choppertunity. It's a challenge that's an opportunity. And we really want to create an oasis here. We want to create a place that celebrates nature, that celebrates community, and that celebrates water. And how can we do that? By celebrating water, nature, and community, we allow the water to go through the site, we slow it down, allow it to percolate, allow the soil to do its thing, plants to be nourished. I mean, when we walk today, we're just greeted by these beautiful flowers. So let's take that into the courtyards, and let's really make this place a place that has been challenged by water so much. Let's just make this the greatest asset of this site.
And the second design opportunity that we heard is of utmost importance is the sense of security. And how can we make this campus feel safe and secure, but not feel like a fortress and closed off to the world? So we want to approach this with a couple of strategies. I think first, having the campus be very well lit at all hours of the day is very important. And then minimizing the number of entry points into the building. So creating one point of entry is also very important. And then also utilizing craft and materiality to create these beautiful screen or scrim-like armatures that could, border these elevated walks that allow light to filter through, but still provide that physical sense of security, and you don't feel like it's closed off from the outside world.
By utilizing what we call the green necklace that envelops the site, we're able to weave in the fences in and out so they kind of disappear. And then when the strategies that Jenna mentioned, we're able to create this secure perimeter that feels diverse, that's engaging, that's secure, but it's welcoming at the same time.
Okay, so these next series of slides are going to start looking at what the space could be, what the floor plan and the flows could be. So this is your current site as it is today. So this is an aerial view. North is up in this image, and so you're seeing Shoal Creek Boulevard along the left side of your site perimeter that's outlined in this black dashed boundary. And so you're seeing the Circle Drive, the parking up to the top left. You've got the existing sanctuary, the admin wing, and then Smith Auditorium, which is where we're sitting today, and then the Barish Learning Center off to the right. And so this next image is going to look at what we are proposing could be the new plan for the sanctuary. So looking at this image, we are thinking about really keeping the vehicular circulation as it is today with maintaining your existing roundabout and where the parking is located today. And by doing selective removal of the existing sanctuary and admin wing, we are making space for a new sanctuary and community commons that could be connected to the Smith Auditorium, and that is connected by a beautiful courtyard in between, really allowing this to be a sanctuary in the garden.
So we want to keep the existing curb cuts. We want to keep the existing drive. We don't want to spend money on redoing stuff that's already there. We want to focus our efforts and our budget on creating a beautiful sanctuary in a garden. You have a spring out there that's just being put into a sewer pipe and being sold, off, out of mind, out of sight. Let's take that water, let's bring it up into the courtyard, let's get some water moving, let's get the sound of water, let's get that refreshing movement as part of the experience of really having these spaces be part of the interior and the exterior. So it's this is gonna be a beautiful garden, and we want you all to be comfortable and be secure and be able to connect with nature and with each other.
Zooming in on the plan, you can see Smith Auditorium on the bottom with the new sanctuary building to the north. The arrival experience will be very important. This will be your new front door. We'll be utilizing the existing Circle Drive, like was mentioned, and creating a new drop-off area. That would lead to a gentle, accessible ramp up to our elevated building with one main secure entry point. That allows for security to see who's coming in and out of the building at all times. Once you enter the building, you'd have the choice to go to the new community commons and sanctuary or towards Smith Auditorium. We think it's very important for the entry to feel welcoming while also feeling protected. Here's a hand-drawn view of what that could look like. You can see the drop-off on the bottom left of the existing Circle Drive. There could be a covered walk up to that secure entry point that would lead to the new sanctuary building, which you can see is really nestled into the garden. On the right, you're seeing a bridge connector to Smith Auditorium. That could be a conditioned space that has a more opaque facade at the perimeter, providing a sense of safety and security as you circulate through the campus.
So now that we're moving into the building, once that we get past the one main point of entry, we are approaching into the community commons or the living room for CBI. And this is that place that is, allowing for those informal gatherings with your fellow congregants. It's got comfortable seating, it's got an abundance of natural light, and it's facing the garden. And then off of that main community commons, we are proposing a generous porch that could really be an extension of these commons and allow you to have those informal gatherings in an exterior space that's safe and protected. And then as you move north up the plan, is the community commons continues, and maybe you might stumble upon a coffee bar with some other, different types of seating. And then, up on the top top left of the plan is a smaller, intimate courtyard where you could have more smaller gatherings, but it's still behind the secure perimeter of the campus.
Moving into the sanctuary. Okay, thank you. We were looking at Temple Emmanuel's Stern Chapel as a precedent with views out to nature, and we were really inspired by your historic stained glass here. We're thinking about leveraging the beautiful site you have with intentional views out of the sanctuary toward the grotto, toward the courtyard. What we've heard from the Building and Design Committee is that the size of this sanctuary is really important to the community. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create a space that is celebrated and really works for you moving forward. We're showing a sanctuary that holds 600 seats with 350 downstairs and 250 upstairs. By putting so much seating upstairs, it allows for the space to feel more intimate even when it's not at full capacity. The mezzanine is asymmetrical, which provides double height space downstairs and provides views to the courtyard for folks sitting upstairs. Here's an interior view of what that could look like. We've imagined a wood screen that's evocative of nature, allowing dappled light into the space. We were inspired by your stained glass again, and we're thinking about how it could be utilized at the ground floor to allow natural light to filter through without being disruptive with direct views to activity out in the courtyard. Overall, we want to create an intimate space that works whether you have 60 people or 600 people. Looking at an exterior view of the sanctuary, this is a view from the Learning Center. You can see the sanctuary is really nestled into the garden. The stained glass from the exterior allows for that sense of privacy when you're inside the sanctuary, and it provides a rich backdrop to the folks in the courtyard. The community commons porch is overlooking that central courtyard, and the bridge connector on the left leads you to Smith Auditorium and feels protected and offers a sense of connection to the courtyard. In this very early stage of design, we keep coming back to CBI's core values, creating a holy community, celebrating the uniqueness of each individual in God's image, and having a responsibility to heal the world through the lens of design and architecture.
The central ephemeral water feature or dry creek crossing through the site and eventually connecting to the entry and the drop-off really becomes this green connector and this thread that tells the whole story of the site. And our idea really is to create this sense of place that you all are proud of, and that is part of your values and your missions and your goals. And by allowing water and allowing this courtyard to serve as a sponge, we're allowing water to be cleansed before it's released into Shoal Creek and the greater watershed, equal to the community coming here, being re-energized, and be able to face the challenges of the world. Footbridges would allow you to experience the path of water, which is the beautiful memory of water that we're trying to convey. The recirculating water feature in the grotto would also be heightened and be celebrated as a main feature of the courtyard. We'd have terrace seating and opportunities for people to gather in intimate and larger groupings. We also have looked at the play area. We envision this more as a nature play area. So we're tucking this into the Learning Center that's protected from Shoal Creek, tucked in further into the site, and already in heightening the efforts that y'all have already made to have the next generation be connected to the flora and the fauna.
All right, so taking another look at this overall view, we are just thrilled to be a part of creating what this new sanctuary will be for the CBI community. You have a beautiful site, and our goal is to leverage that beauty and having the building architecture and landscape architecture work in concert with each other, while at the same time addressing the floodplain issues and acknowledging that security is paramount. By selective demo of the existing sanctuary and the admin wing, we are able to create a new sanctuary and beautiful connection from the sanctuary to Smith Auditorium, and it really is a sanctuary in the garden. We are really inspired by the cast glass and how that this could provide privacy into the sanctuary while still allowing activity to take place outside of the in the courtyard, and also having be something really beautiful to experience. And perhaps you may hear the faint sound of water trickling through the site, which will just really have this be a beautiful, calming experience and a really wonderful place to be. In the evening, the glowing light would filter through the cast glass, symbolizing a beacon of hope. We feel that this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create a space that is celebrated and serves your congregation for decades to come.
Thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you all for the opportunity to be part of this project. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. This is how lucky we are, Congregation Beth Israel. This is what's possible. And I hope, I mean, I cried, but I always cried, but I just want to say thank you for opening yourselves up to this possibility. It's been a while to get here, and I'm in love.